Henry, what does this turmoil mean for the simple people of Russia? Forget about the Kremlin, forget about the oligarchs. What does it mean for the people?
At the moment, there's a sense of panic. You see huge queues outside exchange booths as people trying to change their rubles into dollars. For most people, this brings back memories of 1998 when you had huge devaluation and a default on Russia's debt. And the problem is that they don't see that the policymakers are actually doing anything about it.
Henry, this is very sensitive, and I don't want to put you in an uncomfortable position. What about the fragility and future of the Russian banks? Can you give us any reporting on what they're doing right now as they respond to a 17% yield?
I mean, the banking sector has been experiencing difficulties for some time now, and this is one of the things that people were predicting, that we're really risking immense problems in the banking sector. So at the moment, it's a bit early to say what the impact of that rate hike will be. But in general, if you talk about the economy as a whole, it's clearly going to push the economy even deeper into recession next year.
Hans Nichols, in your Germany, a purchasing managers index was down just a tick today. What are Germans thinking about this morning? Are they thinking about the loss of their Russian market, or are they thinking geopolitically?
Well, it's a tale of two sets of data this morning for the Germans. PMI disappointed, right? It's down just a little bit, hovering just above 50. But perhaps more importantly, the ZOO survey came in much, much higher than expected. It was expected to come in around 20. It came in around 34. This is a longer-term, 6-month, forward-looking survey. PMI is more real-time. It's more flash. So I see two stories in Germany right now. One, the actual data, which is soft. But there is a bit of optimism starting to eject in the economy. And I'm not sure from where that springs.
Right. Well, this is important. Henry Meyer, Hans Nichols, and to Ambassador Haass as well. Scarlett, let me have you pick up. This is Governor Carney trying to maintain calm, and he says flat out, drawing linkages into the core of the financial system we're in, it is a very different place in 1998. Scarlett, I believe the governor of the Bank of England is supposed to say that.
Well, he's trying to instill some calm, and of course, certainly you have central banks in the emerging markets with a lot more foreign currency reserves than you did back in 1998. Right. Henry, over to you. What kind of comfort is the Russian leadership offering to people? What is the level of rhetoric taking place right now?
Well, I mean, the government has basically said that they are taking all the measures to halt the ruble's decline. Putin, some time ago, attacked speculators for driving the ruble down. And he's going to be giving his annual press conference in 2 days' time, and we expect to see more words of reassurance from him.
Well, let's open up this conversation. Richard Haass with us, with his wonderful experience serving the country and now at the Council on Foreign Relations. Ambassador Haass, I feel like I'm in the movie Casablanca, and Putin's out rounding up the usual suspects. Is this out of Haass 101, these actions that we're seeing right now?
Well, the real question, Tom, is what is he doing? Does, at this moment, he think about playing the geopolitical card, and it could go either way. He could try to do the wag the dog scenario and some kind of a distraction. I don't think he does that. The real question is whether he signals some reasonableness in order to build up some expectation that sanctions might be eased. Because after you raise interest rates by 6.5%, you begin to run out of things to do domestically.
Actually, Richard, I want to quote something from your recent article in Foreign Affairs. You said Russia no longer represents anything that appeals to anyone other than ethnic Russians. The geopolitical troubles it can cause will therefore remain on Europe's periphery. Does Putin realize this?
No, I think he has a slightly grandiose version of what Russia is and what it can do. But the fact is, we're not heading for a new Cold War. It's something much more narrow, but it's still dangerous. Russia can be a spoiler. It could be a spoiler, clearly in Europe, as we've seen in Ukraine and other Estonia, potentially Kazakhstan, and then they can make things slightly more difficult in Iran, North Korea. But the bottom line is, this is a country it's shrinking. We're down to 143 million people. And Pakistan's in the news today. Pakistan has 50 or 60 million more people than Russia. This is not a great power. This is not Cold War redux, though it still can cause real harm to the world financial system as well as geopolitically in Europe.
And Henry Meyer, we talk about Vladimir Putin's rhetoric here. Reading it here, it seems divorced from reality. From your sense in Moscow, is that something that the Russian people see through? Are they aware of what's actually happening?
No, I think they basically, for the moment, accept his version of events. He sees the whole situation as a result of outside interference. He thinks that the US and its allies are deliberately targeting him, that this has nothing to do with Ukraine, and that the ultimate objective is to overthrow him. And you'll find a lot of people in Russia buy that. But the issue is that as the situation worsens, I think they're going to start understanding that the situation is more homegrown.